Hello everyone, good day, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar today. Thanks for joining. On behalf of the Citrix Ready partner ActOnMagic, it's a pleasure to welcome you to our Citrix Ready webinar. My name is Greg Fox, and I'm the director of the Citrix Ready partner program at Citrix, and I'll be the host today for this hour-long webinar. And we will be recording the webinar, and we'll make both the slides and the webinar recording available to all of the attendees shortly after the conclusion of the call. And at the end, we'll be sure to allow 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the presentation to allow the attendees to ask questions. And if at any time throughout the webinar, you can also post your questions in the conversation portion of the GoToWebinar environment, and we will queue them up and answer them in the order that we receive them. And if we don't get to your question throughout the hour-long webinar, you can also send a note to citrixready@citrix.com, and we will promptly reply to your question that you might have. It's my pleasure to welcome our speaker, Madan Ganesh, who is the founder and CEO of ActOnMagic. Madan, welcome. Let me tell you a little bit about Madan. He built complex private and public infrastructure as a service products and solutions as part of HP and Citrix. He owns a few patents and internet drafts and is an expert in the area of cloud service brokerage, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, private cloud, predictive analytics, and server technologies. And when he was at Citrix, he managed the Citrix Cloud Portal Business Manager and delivered different private cloud products such as Zen Server, Web Self-Service, Self-Service Manager, and Cloud Portal Business Manager. And at Hewlett-Packard, Madan was one of the experts for HP Insight software, where he designed, developed, and delivered full Zen Server support for as part of the HP VSE suite of products, which were part of the Matrix solution. Next slide, please. Before I turn the time over to Madan, let me remind our audience that this webinar is brought to you by the Citrix Ready team, and Citrix Ready is the #1 source to evaluate verified partner products for customers making a Citrix purchasing decision. And those verified and compatible products are featured and showcased within our Exchange Marketplace catalog, which is accessible by our internal Citrix organization, including our sales force, and then our extensive indirect channel and reseller community, and of course our customers looking to evaluate third-party products which have been verified. Next slide, please. A little bit about ActOnMagic. They're a Bangalore-based software company specializing in cloud analytics. They won the prestigious Hot 100 award in 2014 from Center of Recognition and Excellence in India. And then ActOnMagic's ActOnCloud is the intelligent cloud analytics platform to turn cloud usage data into actionable insights based on predictive models, which is available both as a SaaS and on-premise editions. Their SaaS edition analyzed over 10 zones, 500-plus accounts, and 10 million-plus event records, and has delivered over 3,000 actionable insights. And on-premise edition has been deployed in Middle East and Swiss-based cloud service providers. So with that introduction, Madan, welcome, and let me turn the time over to you to walk us through the webinar.
Thank you, Craig, for the great introduction, and it's a great pleasure to be part of this webinar. And thank you, everyone, for taking time to attend this webinar. I assure you that the time is worth spent, and you leave this webinar with a strong takeaway of how you can use your Citrix Cloud Platform better and how you can turn the data from Citrix Cloud Platform into actionable insights to help you delight your customers, grow your revenue, and optimize your IT. Right. Before we dive in, so why do we need ActOnCloud? So all of you are either cloud service providers or run private cloud or offer managed cloud services based on Citrix Cloud Platform or cloud stack based system. And I'm sure so there are CIOs, CMOs, and sales and operations teams who use your portal, and each one of these stakeholders have different kinds of needs, and today there is no single place where they can get these insights. And so there are a lot of guesswork and manual work involved in planning your capacity, and how do you know the customers who are facing issues with your service, infrastructure as a service. And many of our customers were reactive in solving some of their customer problems, resulting in customer dissatisfaction. And of course, from the cloud platform, there are a lot of data to understand, and it's not easy for every stakeholder to get their bit of insights. Right, so basically, lots of data and different stakeholders are confused and unsure of what is the right thing to do to retain their customers and how best they can control their cost on their infrastructure. So who faces these kind of issues? Say briefly mentioned, either you must be a cloud service provider or offer managed cloud services or run private cloud based on Citrix Cloud Platform or a cloud stack based system. And to give a quick recap of the problems, again, one of the typical challenge for the cloud service providers are the customer churn issue, and most of the times the cloud service providers are reacting to customer problems, which results in customer dissatisfaction, and there are not much tools which allows you to analyze customer usage and to help you understand who is your valued customer, who are the customers at risk of moving away from you. And mostly, the customers are very reactive to their customer problems. And on the other side, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. How is my revenue impacted with when I add more servers, or how is my revenue going to get impacted if I introduce a new product offering? A lot of investment is put into the infrastructure, right from the server, storage, the cloud platform, marketing, various labor costs. And how do you know that you are break even? How do you know that you are having a return on your investments? And also, often the CIOs and the admins are faced with the issue like when should they procure additional servers and additional storages. So there are a lot of data that are getting generated from the cloud platform, but how they can and when they can procure the right size of hardware. And we are talking about CFOs, CIOs, and CMOs. So all of them want transparency in the system. And how are we going to solve all these problems? Right. So here comes ActOnCloud. It's a self-service cloud analytics marketplace to turn cloud usage data into actionable insights. So it's, I refer this as a marketplace because we are talking about multiple stakeholders here, and we using our proprietary engine and our predictive models. So we analyze the cloud platform's data, usage data, and their metadata to convert actionable insights needed for the CXOs, sales teams, and operation teams. And with ActOnCloud, we give you two sets of insights for the CMOs and sales teams, and insights for CIOs and operation teams. And here you get a 360-degree view of your customers, how they are using your cloud platform, what kind of product they are using, is it VM, storage, or any other applications, and helps you focus on your valued customers, and also helps you prevent customers moving into red account. Basically, it helps you to be proactive. On the CIO front and the operations front, so you get 360-degree view of your capacity and how they are consumed by different users, different business units, and it helps you to measure your ROI on your IT investments, and it also helps you to enable IT as a service organization. As Greg briefly introduced, our SaaS platform is used by a number of users and companies. So we have analyzed over 10 zones, 500 customer accounts, over 10 million event records, and we have delivered 3,000 actionable insights to help our customers to retain over $100,000 of revenue from customer churn and customer dissatisfaction. And also we helped them to save over $25,000 in capacity planning and improved productivity in operation and sales. Now getting into the solution architecture a little bit, ActOnCloud sits in parallel with Citrix CloudPlatform, and it constantly analyzes the data from Cloud Platform or Apache Cloud Stack based system, and we have our own proprietary engine, recommendation engine, which keeps the insights in real time and can be consumed by all the CXOs, operation teams, and sales teams. So we also have a plugin, a connector for Cloud Portal Business Manager. If you have CPVM, we do understand the business constructs, the pricing, and it will help you to track your revenue. A little more deep dive into different kinds of insights. In terms of customer insights, you get to see customer classification, automatic customer classification into different buckets. High valued customers, the customers who are at risk of moving away from you, inactive customers, customers who consume most of your resources, and you get to see a 360-degree view of your customers, and you can deep dive into various products. Basically, you can do a business intelligence on various products used by your customers or your users. We have our own proprietary recommendation engine, so where we automatically classify customers into red accounts who are into happy zone based on provisioning, usage, and activity metrics. And we automatically alert the CMOs and sales teams when any of the customers move from a green zone into a red zone. Usually, the sales teams use ticketing systems as a main source of solving customer problems, whereas ActOnCloud could help you to know what the customers are facing well in advance and before they even raise any tickets, and you could go and fix the problem, and you could start delight your customers. So in terms of the infrastructure insights, so you could use ActOnCloud to do capacity planning on your compute and storage, and you could get visibility into zone-wise usage information. And shortly, I'll be taking you through the live demo. With infrastructure insights, you get the next best action you can take on your data center managed by Citrix Cloud Platform. In terms of business insights, so you get to see the non-performing products which are not getting used by your users or customers, and top performing products, both compute, storage, and network. And you could also track your revenues and measure your ROIs here. Apart from the insights and alerting part, so we have plenty of other utilities to help you improve your productivity. You know, you could perform cloud audits automatically on your data center cloud, and you could build dashboards for CXOs or the metrics that matters to you, and you could also schedule reports. You could to see how your customers are doing, how your infrastructure is doing on a regular basis. Are there any questions at this point? Please feel free to type in the questions.
Well, I don't see any questions yet, but I'm sure they will be coming. So.
Sure. Thanks, Greg.
Okay. Yep.
So let me take you through a live demo. Yeah. So we have different profiles in ActOnCloud, CIOs, CMOs, sales, and operation teams. Here I've logged in as a CMO account, where I get to see a quick view of how many customers do I have and how many customers did I onboard in the last 1 year, last quarter. So all kind of BI you can do from this, and you also get to see all kinds of reports and analytics to help you understand as a CMO what you want to know about your customers. And let me go into the customer section. So here I'm picking for the last 1 year. So here you could see how many customers were onboarded, how many did leave your system, and you could do this kind of analysis. And you could look into a particular customer, and you could see a recommendation from our system that this particular customer has has below provisioning score compared to his average provisioning rate. So this is a probable churn, which indicates that your sales team or support team should reach out to the customers to understand why there is a reduction in their provisioning, and probably understand if their requirements have changed and offer a different solution, help you to retain that customer. And also you could tag this particular customer on set of categories, like you want to categorize them based on their regions, or set of action points that you wanted to take. Like I wanted to call this customer, and also you could assign this customer to one of your sales member, and he'll get notified that this customer is in red zone, and your salesperson can talk to the customer with the insights on various perspectives, like how he's using, how many VMs he's using, what is the time period he's creating and deleting, and your sales team would be better equipped to have a conversation with your customer rather than just depending on your the ticketing systems. Yeah, and as a sales person, so I get to see customers who are assigned to me. I could go and tag them, add a custom tag. Is from different. It helps you to tagging is a way to do cohort analysis. Yeah, So you could look at only that customer and do analysis on that customer. And we could also compare, different customers' behavior. So here, I'm showing you a couple of customer accounts, and so you could see this different metrics for a particular customer. Basically, how he's provisioning in the given period. So he has created over 21 VMs in June timeframe, and what is the usage that are generated by this user. And we have ActOn score. It's a proprietary score that we calculate for every customer and user, which indicates the value of a particular customer. So all you need to do is just look at this green line and ensure that it is tending towards the upside. If you see there is a downturn, that means it's there is a chance of churn, and you want to deep dive into the customer's 360-degree view and understand what has changed and then potentially solve the problem. Yeah. And moving as a admin user, I get to see various KPIs on my infrastructure. So let me take you to the KPIs page. So we monitor over 20 KPIs mainly on three categories: the business front, the customer front, and the infrastructure front. So you could configure and threshold for all these KPIs, and so when ActOnCloud analyzes the cloud platform data, and when there is a breach of these thresholds, so the stakeholder gets notified. And moving on, and in terms of capacity planning use case, so you get to see how your RAM and CPU and storage are used in your environment. So you could break down into different zones and understand how it is getting consumed. And what is a very valuable insight from ActOnCloud is that you exactly know how many more days that the available capacity can solve your current demand. So usually to procure additional hardware, so you need a 3 months lead time. So this is a metric that you could use to order at the right time, so that when there is an increase in demand, you have the right capacity to meet the demand. Similarly, on the storage front, so when there is insufficient space, then you get notified as well on a different zone level. And another view for CIOs is how healthy is my cloud, right? So you get to see a quick view of how many VMs running, HA VMs, normal VMs, and how frequently are VMs getting created, what are their usage, and an actionable insight, what exactly is happening in your cloud. Are we seeing increase in usage or decrease in usage, and are there enough activity in your cloud platform? And it helps you to decide to run more promotion to acquire more customers, or perform capacity planning to increase your demand. Yeah. So all those kinds can be planned based on the insights from ActOnCloud. And another important use case from ActOnCloud is measuring your ROI. Basically, we have a cost model where you could feed in the cost involved in setting up your cloud, basically the infrastructure cost, various costs involved in, and based on the pricing model you define, so you get to see how are you doing with your revenue target or the cost that you have invested in. So here this green line is your cost, is 150K, and the red line indicates the average revenue that you should be earning, and the blue line is the actual revenue that you are making based on the current pricing model. So you need to ensure that the blue line is above red line. So if it is below red line, that means you need to change your pricing model, or add more capacity or reduce capacity to reduce cost, so that you can bring this blue line above the red line. There are specific dashboards for CIOs where you get the forecast for the next 6 months, how this would look like, and you get to see the storage leakage in your cloud. It basically indicates the VMs which are removed, but there are orphaned disk spaces. And you also get to see the different kinds of errors in your cloud. So you could see a filtered view of the cloud platform events. So you could see what are the errors faced in your cloud, and you could go and fix them. And you could also run assessment on your cloud. So on a you could schedule the reports, or you can send the instant audit, and it will send a summarized view of how many customers you have, how is the capacity used, and a quick summary of all the KPIs that I showed you a little while ago. Yeah, and in case if you use any of the business portal, either a Citrix Cloud Portal or any other system, so you could also do more analysis on your campaigns, which campaign is working well, and how many customers are getting converted from trial to paid accounts. You could get visibility into those. You could also analyze the different product bundles and entitlements that you have for those bundles. Yeah. So in my current environment, so I have two setup, one running the cloud stack, other one running the cloud platform. So you could add any number of cloud platform in ActOnCloud, and you could manage all the cloud platform. In the home page, you could get to see all the reports and analytics. So that's all I plan to cover part of the demo. And let me get back to the slides. To give a quick recap of what we saw in the demo. As a CMO or a sales organization, so you have everything you need to take control over your customers proactively and effectively. Then you could deep dive into individual customers and get the 360-degree view of the customer, and you can analyze the customer behavior and get recommendations on what you should do to retain that customer. And as a CIO or operations teams, you get the visibility into your cloud, and you see the next best action you can take on your data center managed by Citrix CloudPlatform or Apache Cloud Stack, and you could run the cloud audits and you get to see the 360-degree view of your capacity on compute front and storage front, and you know exactly when to order additional capacity. And last but not the least, you could measure your ROI and know when you will break even. So we also planning to add some of the public cloud analytics as well, to help you to measure your cost on public cloud and private cloud, and helps you to determine when you should run your workload on private cloud and versus when you should run on your public cloud. Again, so we have cost models and price models defined, which helps you to play with the pricing, and as in a private cloud environment, you have a way to show how much revenue or how much ROI you have met for the investment you have made. So with that note, so with ActOnCloud, so you could delight your customers from the 360-degree view of your customers, and you could grow revenue by retaining them and selling more products what is needed by them. And you could also optimize your cloud with efficient capacity planning, and improve the utilization in your data center, and it will help you to control cost as well. So with that, so you could try our SaaS offering from ActOnCloud.com, or we could set up a personalized demo with our on-premise edition. Greg, I think I'm done, so over to you for the question and answer.
Yeah, great, Madan. Very great overview on ActOnCloud and the Cloud Analyzer marketplace, or analytics marketplace. I have a couple questions. When you talk about the KPIs, you said there are about 20 KPIs that you measure across three categories: business, customer, and the infrastructure. Right.
That's
How much time does it really take do you spend to collate those metrics, would you say? How long does it take to collate those?
Yeah. So usually our existing customers, spend days to collate these information. Since these involve collecting various information from cloud platform, whereas with ActOnCloud now they get instantaneously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And do you offer self-service, like a self-service dashboard, as a value-added service as well?
Yes. Yeah. So what we have seen some of our customers do is that one is they wanted to offer the entire ActOnCloud as an add-on value add service to their existing customers to help them manage their private cloud. And some of our cloud service providers and who offer managed cloud services, basically who build private cloud for the customers, they offer ActOnCloud as a way to sell additional value-added services to them.
Okay, excellent. Madan, let me ask a couple other questions. How many hosts are managed by the CCP instances?
So we have seen customers managing 12 hosts in a single CCP, and we help them analyze all the 12 hosts from the CCP itself.
Okay. And how would you say you measure your customer, those that consume your infrastructure, how would you say you measure their health? And would you say that they're satisfied with, the results or not?
Yeah. So, so today, as I briefly mentioned, so today our some of the sales teams, they use ticketing systems or a CRM as a only way to know what customer is facing. And whereas here with ActOnCloud, so as a CMO or a sales team, so you exactly know what customer is doing, and the many a times the customers would not be able to convey the problems what they are facing. They would narrate in a way that what they see it, but when you deep dive into that problem description, there are a lot more into it. So we help the CMOs and sales teams to get to that root of the problem, and by giving visibility into the various aspects of their usage.
Okay, excellent. Remind people how to track the ROI on the IT investment, and when do you know that you're breaking even on that investment, would you say?
Yep. So here in ActOnCloud, so like I mentioned, so we have a cost model to help the CIOs to model their cost, whatever the investment they're making on their IT, and also they get to define, let me quickly show. So they get to define a pricing model for various products that they are offering, and with these two, they get to see the comparison of the cost they incur and the kind of revenue they're able to make, and eventually they find ways to increase the price or decrease the price to acquire more customers. Thereby, they can attain the ROI.
Okay, cool. And then how did you say you track your operating margin of your cloud business?
So today, a lot of people do things manually through Excel sheet. So here, with our costing model and pricing model, they exactly know how much revenue they're making for the cost they are investing in. So you directly get the margin that you are making.
Okay.
Did that help, Greg?
Yes, yes. What are, Madan, a couple other questions. What are some of the pain points that you see in running your cloud business? And in particular, your private cloud. What are some of those pain points that you see?
So our customers, one of the main pain point they see is, how do they plan their capacity, and other pain point that we started to see more is, the Gartner and many of the research organization predicted that hybrid cloud is the way forward, and so they see the guys who run private cloud. They also have some workload running on some of the public cloud like AWS, Google Computer, Azure. So they want to see from a single pane of place where they get to see the cost that are involved in running public cloud versus private cloud. So the getting visibility of public cloud and private cloud is one of the key challenges that they see.
Okay. And then on the ability to track those SLAs like host uptime, management, node failure, et cetera, on CCP, how do you track that?
Yeah, so good question, Craig. So we do have a SLA alerts view, so where we mine the cloud platforms events and we give you a view like what's a server downtime and what's a maximum time it was down. So all these kinds of data also can be seen from ActOnCloud on customer alerts, infrastructure alerts, and management alerts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Sure, great. And I see there are some questions from the participants as well.
Let's see. Oh yeah, one question was what versions of CCP do you support?
Yeah, so we support 3.07 and 4.2, and the recent version or the previous version 4.3.02. These three versions we support.
Okay.
And there's a question on the licensing model.
Yep.
So we have we have a SaaS version which is purely based on the number of VMs and number of customers being managed. And for the on-premise editions, we do have options to based on the number of hosts they manage in CCP.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay.
I'm having a little trouble seeing the questions. If you see them, if you want to just call them out, Madan.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, Greg. Yeah. There is one question. Does automated workload placement, does it utilize live migration to workloads based on resource in real time? So yeah. So right now, the ActOnCloud provides these insights and alerts, and these are available through APIs as well. So our plan is to provide value-added plugins on top of ActOnCloud to initiate some of these provisioning actions. So right now we don't do it, but we plan to build those pointed solutions on top of the platform or partner with some of our partners who already provide these kind of operations, and we just invoke their APIs on these alerts. And there is one question from Paul. Does the storage and the compute capacity planning take into account tags? So right now it does not, but it's in our plan for 1.5. So right now we have 1.4.4 as the version. So in the next versions we plan to add the account tags, the CCP tags constructs into our system. There is one more question from Giles. For your SaaS offering, do you have any assurance about uploading the usage data to you? Are there any data jurisdiction issues? So in terms of our architecture is, we have a fully secured, multi-tenanted, fully isolated architecture where we keep the tenant information completely isolated from rest of the users. And the data is completely belongs to the user who uploads the data, usage data, and they have complete control over how they wanted to expose the information. And all the information that are put into the SaaS version are encrypted, and it cannot be decrypted. I hope that answered the question.
But I don't see other questions right now in addition to what has been asked in the panel.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And let me just kind of remind the attendees, if there are additional questions that you want to ask that we didn't get to or you think of later, you could send an email, as I said, to citrixready@citrix.com, and then we'll make sure that we connect with Madan and answer those questions back to you. Okay?
Sure.
Madan, do you want to make any kind of final comments before we wrap up today?
Yeah, so I hope with this short introduction to ActOnCloud, audience have a view of kinds of actionable insights that they can see from Citrix Cloud Platform or Apache Cloud Stack to enable them to get a 360-degree view of their customers and prevent customer churn, satisfy them, and basically delight their customers, and also help them plan their data center efficiently and effectively using our BI tool and actionable insights.
Excellent. Well, Madan, thank you very much for the great overview. Best of success to you at ActOnMagic and for your portfolio. It's been a great overview. So thank you for sharing your company and your solutions with us today.
Sure, Greg, and thank you very much for the opportunity. And thank you everyone who participated in the webinar, and really the questions from the panel and the audience were really interesting, and I hope addressed all the questions. I look forward to working with you later.
Excellent. Well, that concludes our webinar today. I want to thank Madan and our attendees for coming into the webinar. We're going to make the presentation and the recording available to all of you who have attended today, and that now concludes our webinar. Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful day.